pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Jennifer McCart,
Yes.
Alan Migliorini,
Yes.
Approval of minutes for December 20th, 2023. So it's only you and I, so you have to
Motion to approve the minutes?
second. Roll call, please.
Alan Migliorini,
Yes.
Jennifer McCart.
Yes. Correspondence. Do we have anything? And reports. So we'll do the sanitary report.
We got our lift stations calibrated, the ones that are at least giving out telemetry. We have our inspections completed. We did our pump down test, and all of our safety equipment has, as far as confined space, harnesses, tripod, everything has been inspected and has passed. So, and I have more to give when we get to the SCADA cellular service. I'll have more to talk about at that point. As far as that, everything's running, no emergencies.
Wastewater treatment plant, do they have anybody?
No.
Engineer report.
Okay, so, we went and did the pump down test. Now, we only tested, of the 6 lift stations, we tested 3 of them, because 3 of them have the telemetry on them and are giving,
Oh, you have a copy.
and are,
Oh, perfect.
and are giving us, daily readings in gallons at the end of the day.
Okay.
So what the idea was on this was that we were going to just go out in the field and do a measurement where we take a stopwatch, a stopwatch, and we let the pumps run for like a minute or so. We take level with a rod, so we got a guy like down there with like a surveyor's rod, reading how much it changes in that time that the pump's running. Now, there is in there the ability for human error, couple ways. One, it's hard to necessarily, like, he was manning the pumps, I was on the stopwatch, so you're off by a second maybe. So there's a little error there, and then also the guy doing the reading is trying to get the top of the get the rod to be touching the water, and trying to see, some of those lift stations are pretty deep, trying to see when you're right on top of it. So a little bit of error there, but what we thought we would be able to do, and I think that we were, I'll talk about those results, would be to come up with a gallons per minute that the pumps are each pumping at, and then take the weekly run times that they perform, take those hours for each pump, multiply it by its gallons per minute times 60 to get how many gallons did it pump in that day. And then compare it against the SCADA. Now, another way that that's not exactly accurate either is, I think the SCADA comes in at midnight, is that right?
Yeah.
And they're taking the pump readings between 7 or 8 in the morning, and they're taking them Monday and Friday. So if I take, and the way his spreadsheet is set up, I'm sorry, there's too much information. It's just the way I go.
No, you're okay.
So his spreadsheet shows on Friday, let's just call a nice even number, the clock said 120 hours, and on Monday it said 100. That means during 4 days, it ran 20 hours. So then what I did is I took those numbers and compared it against the same days in the SCADA flow report and lined them up. And you see, I picked those same 4 days. I know, it's kind of hard to see, but what I'm saying is I took those 4 days, total them up, brought them over here, and then in the yellow is my math. So for example, lift station number 1 is the one that's over at the it's not Rainbow.
Shady side.
Shady side, mobile, that quadrant of it. the town. So our number for 1 week, was 48,800, whereas the Skidata said it was 55,000. Now, that is about 1.13 different, so like 13% different. So considering all those variables, that's pretty close, you know, especially again, since we're not comparing exact runtime to when the Skidata comes in, and then also just a little bit of human error as well. I'm sorry about that. So lift station number 1, in all 4 weeks, I was just looking at the December data, we were at like a ratio of 1.13, 1.08, 1.22. The last end of the month, we were off. We were at like 1.63, and I don't know if that's because the readings were off because of the holidays. So I'm not sure what necessarily happened there, but the other 3 weeks were very close. Now, Adam, I didn't ask you this question, but what I saw for the other main lift station right out here, lift station number 2, is that 2 of the weeks, I didn't think the Skidata data looked right.
Okay,
So I only used 2 of those weeks, and I found that our numbers, the way I did the math, came in higher, but at a ratio of like 75%. Like, not that we were 75% higher, but that we were only like a quarter higher than what the Skidata said. And that second week, it was a little less. It was like 13% higher. So on one end, we were higher than one lift station, but on the other, we were lower. But they were all within, like, say, 20%. So not some, well, except for lift station number 1, I don't know what happened with that one. Yeah, and I have something else to comment on too. So it's not double, it's not 3 times, it's not, you know, it's within 20% from just these readings that I had. Now, one thing that we didn't do, for example, is when we did lift station number 2, we didn't turn off the other lift stations that feed into it. So, you know, if we would have turned them off, maybe we would have gotten a more consistent flow coming in. Maybe we could have, you know, tweaked that number a little bit better. But again, that's just the variables that you see out in the field. So I guess what I'm saying is, I didn't think there was a huge difference in the 2. I mean, I wouldn't like be paying a bill on, say, my numbers. I wouldn't like want to be the meter for the town, you know, to have to spend money on. But I think for comparison's sake, you know, they seem pretty in line. Now, we also tested lift station number 5, which is the one over Luke Oil, because that one has Skidata on it too. But we did have human error. I like one of the pump readings, I don't know what happened, but that one's not feeding in directly into the wastewater treatment plant. That one feeds eventually into lift station 2. So for what we were doing right now, trying to figure out what's happening with the comment that came from the wastewater treatment plant about our flows, I think being within about 20%, given the rudimentary way we're trying to compare, seemed reasonable.
Okay.
I can type that all up and just
And that's-
have it for the record.
and that's not
Okay.
bad comparing that she's using data before we recalibrated the telemetry,
Oh, okay. Now, when did it get recalibrated?
beginning of January 8th.
Oh.
Was that before you guys did the
Yeah.
pump downs?
Wait, we did the pump downs on January 8th, but when did it get recalibrated?
Hold on.
You know, I could run the numbers again, once we get like a few weeks of January numbers.
Yeah.
You know, because,
So keep in mind, you're gonna run into the same issue you did in the last week of December because of New Year's and this last week there was an error because of this pump down test was 1.8. So yeah, I'm sorry. So yeah, the calibration was done on the week before that, so
Okay.
it was before Christmas.
Yeah.
Is that Christmas?
Okay,
I apologize, I don't have it.
no, that's okay. Well, I can, once we get a couple more weeks of data, I can look at it again.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would say, in my opinion, like, right now, just commenting that we're within like 20%, it seemed reasonable. We could, you know, go back out, do pump down tests again, maybe once the spring hits, and then, you know, try, you know, see where we're at again compared to the data. But I feel relatively confident that, again, we're in close, but once I can get a couple weeks of January data, then I can crunch the numbers again. Okay, that's my report.
So what stemmed all this is, I don't know how, if you've read anything, I don't know. I think it was November, our flow report numbers were, was it November, October?
October, we had like no data
Yeah,
for considerably not, quite a bit of days. So in fact, I'm sorry, it was almost the entire month
right,
that we had no data, and
but at the same time, the mill was, at one point, was saying that we were close to our max. And we're like, well, wait a minute, like. So then we had all the lift stations cleaned, we had them calibrated. Now we've performed a pump down test, just to make sure our end, we can get everything corrected on our end, and take it back to them, and it's gotta be on your, coming from your side.
yeah.
So, and then you had Gas Voda out here recently
Yes,
to inspect the lift stations as well.
correct. Can we go over all that now, or?
Sure. We can go over it now.
Okay,
Unless you have more to share.
so, no, I actually got quite a bit, so,
Yeah, okay.
I did my homework. Per se. Okay, you said for the, okay, calibration was done on the 7th of December, I do have the date.
No, okay.
So that was done on the 7th, so we do have, my apologies, you do have the correct data
Well,
from
but I,
December 7th on.
oh, it was done on December 7th.
Yeah, December 7th,
Oh, okay,
So-
okay.
it's my bad.
Okay.
All right, so the packet I presented you guys, so I'll make sure I gave everybody back here. Just so that everyone's on the same page. I'll give it to everybody here so they can follow along. So, if you want one, this is really about billing and all that.
It's
so.
not technical.
No.
Okay.
No, you handled the technical part of it, so, which was in there, so, that's good. So, all right, so the first thing I got you is the outstanding bill for the SCADA from July to December. So technically, our contract had expired in 2022. And they are not back billing us from 2022 to on, they're just gonna bill us from July to December to cover outstanding balance for 22-23. So that's the proposal, or I know it says invoice, and I apologize if I forgot to tell her to change that. But actually, no, yeah, so that is our outstanding bill for our SCADA. Just so Alan knows, SCADA is what powers our telemetry and all of our pumps and everything to go from cellular to the office. So that's what this bill is for. So the next, where the blue tab is a quote for annual service to maintain the 7 sub-year lines for $2,520. That is what SCADA is proposing or quoted us to maintain those lines for 1 year. Attached to that, behind that will be an email that also states that that is locked in. There will be no increases or anything of that nature during that year. So I made sure that that was stipulated as far as that being agreed upon. If you were to do this annually, and that's our working price, and I don't wanna come in 6 months later and say, oh, due to inflation, you increase. So that's attached here to this, it's, what, 30 pages. And it's an email form, yeah.
Are they wanting a contract signed from us for that year?
So they said they don't really do contracts, but I'm gonna let, I think I let Clay ask it, but this is what they're saying to do, is this considered a contract if we pay it?
Which one,
The quote,
I mean, is there something for us to sign to accept the quote? Or do you just need to email them back and say, because I see the terms, it says payment net 30 days, quote validity 30 days.
correct. So I'm giving you everything that they gave me, they said they really don't do contracts, but, okay, but they said we pay the bill for the annual, they said there will be no increase. And that's why I made sure that I attached the email to this, so you guys are on the same page as what I am.
I mean, I guess if this board wants to accept it, you motion and second vote on it and then direct staff to communicate if, you know, the quote is accepted and process the payment.
Okay.
So, and that other email was, which is the last page of that little, this fourth group tab, was just basically the cellular lines with the typo in it. It says 6 months is supposed to be 1260, 11, 1260. It's 1260 for 6 months, and then of course 2520 for 1 year. So, so there it is. That's that. That's that. So the next blue tab is we had an issue with one of our call boxes on number 4. So it would get, every time it gets wet out, it creates an open line and it dials into, it doesn't dial in, but it opens up a line 911 center. That's pretty bad. And they traced it back to our lift station. So goodie for that. I since then replaced that call box. It was an old chair box. I should replace it to the next upgrade model, which is the verbatim, which was our spare that we keep on the shelf for that reason. In case one of our chatter boxes go out, we have a spare, we can actually go out there and put it in and do that. So I used our spare to try to fix the problem. Still didn't fix it. We have to wait till it gets wet again and call phone company and everything. But anyway, the speaker was going out, the board was getting bad anyway, so it was time for replacement anyhow. So, with that being said, now I have no more spares, and I got another one, which is gonna be number 5, that's gonna be next on the, probably be next on the button to get replaced, because it's also having issues, as you'll see further in the report. But with that being said, I got 2 quotes, one from Superior Pumping to have it programmed and ready to go. Was gonna be $4,639. And then I got a quote from Gaxboda today for $2,978. So I'm impartial either way, as long as it's the same call box in which I have already had programmed, or I put in the lift stations. That's really what I care about.
You said $4,639?
$4,639 from Superior, and Gaxboda one at $2,976. Yeah, that's a $1,600 difference.
But it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. So next blue tab. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. We'll circle back around.
Okay, so the next blue tab, and then I'll pause, and then we'll talk about the next, is now that the inspections are done, tests are done, and the calibration is done, I need to get some of these air releases maintained or fixed or repaired and looked at. So I'd like to move on to the next proposal, which was the proposal for the air release maintenance on these from Gaxboda for $2,750.
2,750.
Correct. To go ahead and get that approval to start getting that especially if you can't do the whole thing, I understand, but
That's for
Two,
all of them?
that's for all of them. So 2 guys come out for your lift station to do repetitive maintenance on your air release service, several locations, testing within labor travel and stuff like that. So that's for all of them.
When was the last time those were done?
I cannot tell you. And I understand if you're hesitant on that. I know that's quite a bit of expenditures that I've been asking for just in this little bit alone. But at a minimum, I'd like to get 2 going from 6 to 5 done. Both in Cornell's Landing to the gas station. I want to get those done.
The air release?
Correct. If you choose not to do the whole thing.
Anything else on your list?
The next is the flow report, and then I'll go over that, but I'll pause for questions on that.
Okay, so let's circle around back to SCADATA,
Okay.
where we are right now.
Yes.
Okay. So that is the system that we currently use for all of our reporting.
Yes.
So basically, we need to pay this bill for 23 and then pay 2024.
Yes.
What was the bill for the remainder of 2023? Is that this 1,260?
Correct.
Okay. I guess we start there, make a motion to approve that,
Well, let's make a motion to approve each item or just
or just,
2023 and 2024.
You can do it together if you want.
okay,
Make a motion to pay the SCADATA for the remainder of 2023 and all of 2024.
I will second that. I can't do the math that fast in my head. You want a total in there?
1260 plus the
25 to 20, yeah.
3780.
Oh, there you go, 37. I will second that. Roll call, please.
Alan Migliorini,
Yes.
Jennifer McCart,
Yes. Okay, and then Chatterbox replacement. There's a huge difference between the two. I
$1,600.
don't know like why it's, what does one have versus the other, like why is there such a,
It's the same box,
that's crazy.
to my knowledge, it's the same box. I don't know what the difference is, and then to be honest with you, I did not inquire.
Okay,
I did what I was asked.
okay, thank you.
Okay. And I'm giving you what my findings are. So,
Well, I don't know how familiar you are with equipment, I'll be honest, I don't know what a Chatterbox exactly consists of, but if you're saying the same thing and either one would work,
yes.
I mean,
So, when I talked to, Gasola, I told them exactly what I needed, and I know that the original, what they called it, the chatter, you know what the chatterbox does. So the chatterbox, basically, if it goes into alarm, all right, it starts dialing the front office, so that way we have a record of anywhere. The next phone call it makes is to me, saying, hey, there's a problem. And if I'm not available, then it goes to the next person, and it goes to the next person, and then it just keeps cycling until someone finally says, we're on our way. So that is the intent of the chatterbox, and that's what it does. So anyway, so without that, if there is something that happens, and let's say, for instance, that I'm on vacation, all right, and there's no chatterbox to let you know there's an alarm. Let's say I'm on a cruise somewhere. I'm just throwing it out there. All right, cellular service is very limited when you're out there. I can't say, hey, Brandon, there's a problem at number 2. You need to go take a look at it. So that's what the chatterbox is there for. So it's what we call a redundant system.
Yep.
So if this fails, this takes up the slack and then calls out, and then so forth and so on. So that's what the call box does. So you're right. And so when I called I'm sorry, Gas Photo.
Mhm,
Yeah, Gas Photo this morning, he says, hey, this is what I need.
mhm.
This is the chatter boxes are obsolete, which we knew. Right, we've upgraded to the verbatim system. I need a price quote for one, the chatter box, and two, it to be programmed. So that way it's ready to go if in case when we need it.
Mhm.
So, and that's what he ordered up for.
Okay,
I mean, there's really no point in looking at it's weird.
I mean, if the markup's like crazy, yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion to proceed with the purchase of chatterbox from Gas Voda.
I will second that. Roll call, please.
Alan Migliorini,
Yes,
Jennifer McCart.
Yes. All right. The air release maintenance. So we have no idea when the last time that was done.
In the time that I've been here, I know we've had one or two that's been maintained or had Gas Photo come out and do some work on it, but I've never been part of the complete servicing of them,
Okay.
so.
did Gas Voda say anything to you about how often we should have these serviced?
No, they did not. So, but since, how do I put this not sound, like an. Can't say that's on the camera, but anyway. Since our little, issue a couple years ago when we lost, lift station 6. And the, whole sewer system backed up in the Cornell's Landing. All right, we've had air release issues since then. All right, so it's one of those things that we need to get it on the schedule, we need to get it done. Does it have an issue with our flows? I don't think it does, but at the same time, we know that one of them is not working right. So let's get it done. And I can't tell you when the last time they were done, then let's get it done. That way we can say our system is working properly.
Would it have been Gas Voda that performed it the last time?
Probably, I'm not saying yay or nay on that. There's a strong possibility it could be. It could have been Superior Pumping too. They both work out. I don't know who did it. I don't know how long ago. Just in my time being here, I've never serviced one.
How long have you been here?
So 3, maybe 4 years.
Yeah, I feel like, it's not my place to remember, but.
Right.
I remember talk about having them like serviced, but I can't remember how long ago that would have been. I felt like my first thought was like, oh no, 5 years, but I don't know.
Okay. And we don't know how regular, like how often they should be.
No, I'll get that in. Once we get it done, I will get that
Because that's
information.
what it
That way
should be
we can put it
annually
on the
or-
schedule, right?
'Cause I think that's what we need to start doing is like, now that we know we've done inspections and calibrations, that like we need to get on a schedule, like we know. There's no record of anything, so
Right.
like we need to like make sure things are done.
So I don't like the cleanings we do at least twice a year. I know we
Okay.
do once in the spring and we'll do once in the fall. So the cleanings that we've been doing, the goal was to be quarterly,
Right.
but if we get 2 times a year, we're doing good.
Okay.
So, so next month I will start scheduling the cleanings, well, once I get a proposal on that.
Okay.
I'll start scheduling cleanings for about March-ish.
This is a little off track,
Yeah, I know, that's the.
but can you get together with Nicole and maybe you guys come up with like a spreadsheet of the maintenance of these lift stations? That way we have like a schedule, and if somebody asks, we can pull the schedule, be like, listen, it's coming up, we need to put it on the
Right.
agenda. It's
So,
like Al and I were coming in like, I don't know, I know last year I don't remember talking about it for 2023 at all.
okay,
So, and I've read all the minutes for 2022 prior to coming on the board,
all right.
and I don't recall, or I don't recall seeing it, so it could have been well before then.
Uh-huh.
Um,
No, not a problem.
maybe.
I think we should, I mean, if it's been at least 3 to 4 years, I don't think it's a bad idea to invest the 2750 to
I agree.
just get an idea of what's going on. If, as long as you can find out what gas photo recommends, how often we should have the PMs. I don't know if it's something that should be done every year, every 2 years, but, I'll make a motion to go ahead with the gas photo for the preventive maintenance for the air relief valves.
I will second. Roll call please.
Carla Migliorini,
Yes,
Jennifer McCarthy.
Yes. Alright. Is that it?
No.
I think I covered
That's it for that part.
for this part, okay. Alright, do we have anything in the future infrastructure? I don't think we have anything else that
No,
we need to talk about,
I just wanted to go over the report card,
okay.
if you guys have a moment. So
Yeah.
if you don't mind me jumping around a little bit.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so our inspection. We passed the flying color.
Nothing's wrong,
No, I didn't say it.
okay. I'm like, well, that's passing the flying colors,
So
I'm like, we got
no, 'cause
100%.
I am so,
like,
I am so,
we don't
I
have to
am
do
happy with this report. Obviously, the things that you see the pink glow flags, those are the little things that are a problem, and that's compared to the ones that I've read in the past, this is great. This is what maintenance, preventative maintenance on our end does. So all the time that you see, if I ever question about lift station maintenance and how much I've put into that in the past, when the time that I've been here, this is the reason why.
Okay,
So I am pleased with this report. So with that being said, a couple little things. So the first thing was,
do you have a copy of the report? Oh. Do you have an extra copy of the report?
yeah, did I not give you one?
No.
I am sorry.
I'm looking over here at Alan's papers, I'm like, I
I'm
see that,
sorry.
and I know, like.
You do. Would you like one? Yeah, everyone should have. So I apologize. I
No, that's okay,
All right,
sorry to call you out
so, no, you said there's more than one person on the board, and I make sure I keep it prepared.
There is.
So, all right. So, lift station 2, one issue was, on station 2 was the standby generator was tripped out. So, what caused that was probably the last time we were doing maintenance, it was a little bit of oversight. And we forgot to reset it, which is one of the reasons why we have a redundancy as far as if something was a problem with a lift station, you always check number 2. So with that being said, it's been reset, it is working properly. So we're good to go on that.
So we can consider that fixed.
That is fixed.
Okay,
So.
I'm sorry, there was an issue with this generator.
So, well, back in December 1st or November 1st, the first big snowstorm that we had. So where we lost power with half of the town.
Okay.
So, for some reason, the generator kicked on, it started. But then for some reason, it turned itself off. We don't know why. We have a theory, but we haven't been able to prove that theory. So, but anyway, thank gosh for Brandon and Mike at the street department, because they were running around, tending to lift stations, running around generators, making sure that they, we can get them pumped out in time. They just so happened to be coming by 2 and noticed that the generator wasn't running, and it was a full lift station. So I mean, full to the lid. So number 2 is, let me backtrack this a little bit. Number 2 is a very important lift station. Without number 2 running, there's nothing going to the mill except for number 1.
that's the one.
That's the one right here, right there. So that's why that one has its own generator committed to it. So with that being said, since they, of course, first thing is, hey, we're here number 2 and there's nothing happening. So I had to walk through and manually start the generator, and all was good with the world again. So, and number 2 has had a list of problems with it too, because of the H2S, and that station caught fire back in,
Was it summertime, wasn't it?
summertime,
Of last year,
Yeah.
23, yeah. So we had to get it totally rewired and all that stuff, so we're still, one of the call boxes had to get replaced because it got is shorted out, and yeah, that has been our problem child. So per se, but with this report, I'm happy with it. So as far as, if the generator wasn't set right, I'm okay with that, because again, we got redundancies. So, but it's done, it's fixed, it's working properly. So next thing was, the issue was the station 5. So it says here that the motor starters are getting worn. So we'll have to replace the motor starters, which is not a problem, and the chatterbox speaker is not working. So what I'm going to do with that, once it's, well, doesn't mean it's not working, it just means the speaker's not working. So I cannibalized the old chatterbox from 4 and was able to get a speaker working for now. So, but I said, when it gets warmer, I'll permanently make that a permanent thing. So right now I'm just waiting on the weather. So. And the final thing was basically, final red tab is just basically an overall summary of each individual report, and I just highlighted again what was wrong. So if it's only 2 lift stations that was an issue, I'm pleased. So, just,
I mean, I was expecting a really long list, I'll be honest.
I was too.
Oh, just like little things, like this should be done, and this should be done,
Pump reflection off of this,
Right.
and, yeah, I was expecting a long one too.
because it's been a while, from what we could tell.
Mhm.
When did we sit down with Corinne? And she pulled that old report, and then we didn't even know what's been fixed.
Right, that was like 2020, that report
That
was
was-
2022,
Yeah,
so,
okay.
so now I'm done, that's it.
The motor on lift station 5, is that something you fix yourself?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's all plug and play.
okay.
So if it gets complicated, I'll get it done.
That's not too bad.
No, the first thing is I have to order parts, so I gotta figure out how much those upstarts are gonna be, and
Okay.
I gotta bring it back to you guys before I get in place.
All right. Any questions?
I don't think so.
Just let us know when you do order parts.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know. All right, well, that was a good report. Back to you, oh, the service agreement, sorry, I just saw global engineering and I stopped reading and sorry. So last month, their report or their agreement was brought to us and Clay suggested that we change some wording. Page it is on. With, is it the invoicing part?
Yeah, it was something like the days of receipt, it was like days of
Yes, so
receipt, you wanted to change the
payment
days of
terms.
receipt or something.
We wanted to change it to where it was within 45 days of receipt of the invoice, not
Yeah.
how it was worded before. So, I mean, that's the only thing that's changed, and I think everything else stayed the
Yeah,
stayed the
that
same,
was the
from what I
only change.
remember. So we just have to, if we'd like to keep them, we need to, yes.
I'll make a motion to keep global engineering. First one's my report.
I'll second too. Roll call, please.
Alan Migliorini,
Yes.
Jennifer McCarty.
Yes. All right, we already covered Scanana, the service. Correct, we don't need to talk about that anymore. New business. Approval of claims, and purchase orders. Did we have anything turned in other than what you're gonna be? Or I guess we've already,
I said,
Need a motion to
you
approve those?
pretty much did those.
yep, we sure did. Spending review. That is. First here. Know if
Is that what Clay has, maybe? She had another packet. I don't know if that's anything different. Not too sure. That's everything out of the folder.
I guess we won't have any questions. We don't have one.
I don't have anything else in here.
Okay,
Table.
Nicole. Take that up. And delinquencies, I didn't see anything crazy. There's always a few on here. Do you have any questions? This is all of 2023. We'll report next.
Do we have an extra copy?
Yeah, the numbers are starting to come back a little bit. And there's only been a few days where there's a zero, but
Right, and most of the zeros in there.
compared to what we
is
did
no-
have
Right,
in November, I think it was.
right, most of the zeros are no folks out there, again, we monitor that, we don't do anything. We monitor. There's a couple more, I know, the Station 5 had a comp failure and.
Nope. Alright, go to the order. Anybody have anything? No. You know what? This is our appropriation. I think this is all 2023, and then I saw 2022 and it threw me off for a second. You guys just been, emailing, make sure you have Alan's email.
Yeah, I need to get to.
That way you're constantly emailing us and Nicole, and
Right.
so we're all in the same group and keeping Jeanette and Clay in. I wanna make a motion to adjourn. Or we can.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second, roll call please.
Alan Migliorini,
Yes.
Jennifer McCart.
Yes. Yay.